Welcome to the Cherland podcast, where I, Connor Cherland, meet up with a musician, hear about what makes them tick, what influences their art, what they're bringing to the musical table. And on today's musical table plate, we have Descolada, A.K.A. Colton. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. We talk about things like, crippling self-doubt, the people around you being so supportive and loving that it enables you to chase your dreams. If you're into that sort of thing, I think you'll enjoy the conversation. So please enjoy Descolada, a.k.a. Colton. Colton, how you feeling, man?
Dude, I'm feeling all right. All right. Just got done hanging out with a dude who's going to do some videography for me, and he kept fueling me with more beers, so
that's the best way to get hired for a job.
Oh yeah, no, he's a great dude. But
that's a great first impression. He just kept giving me things.
Oh yeah, and I was like, all right, I gotta leave at 6, and then at like 6:23 or 6:30, I was like, well, I still haven't left yet, and I've had one too many beers, but we're gonna go, we're gonna kill it.
Sweet. Videos for the album release?
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to do one for my second single. And then we're going to do one. He's kind of doing here in Asheville, you've recorded some of the people from like the Gems on VHS crew and whatnot.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's kind of like trying to start something in some way similar to that, but in like the Asheville music scene. 'Cause there's like just a lot of incredible people out here for sure.
Yeah. What do you think brings them out there?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things. Like, I'm not from here originally either, so like, there's a lot of Indiana originally, northern Indiana. But but like, I don't know. There's like, you can play at a lot of places. Like the brewery scene around here is insane. I mean, there's like 75 breweries in like Asheville alone, which is a town of like, I don't know, 70,000 people.
Yeah. So, wow. Geez. That's a lot of breweries.
Many. Yeah. Almost too many for sure. But like you can play almost all of them. Like they all hire musicians and stuff. And so like you can play full time in this tiny town somehow. Cool. And then if you go in the region, it's even more. Like it's crazy. And it's in, Appalachia. So there's just like mountain music has always been a thing there. Like it's always been an important part of the culture. Like there's some like, friends around here who grew up with like professional musicians as their neighbors and stuff, and so they like, no one out here thinks it's weird when someone tells them like, yeah, I'm a full-time musician. Yeah. Whereas like where I'm from in Indiana, like that's not a thing, like full on not a thing at all. Like you could play for free wherever you wanted sort of thing. Like and that's what I did all throughout high school, was like playing like hardcore bands and stuff for free. Nice. But like, we'd get 300 kids out and we wouldn't see a dime. Yeah. The venue would eat up all because we didn't know any better out there.
Yeah.
But
jeez. Do you do the bar scene now? Is that what you do full time?
Yeah. I mean, basically like last year, like pre-COVID, that's pretty much what I was doing. We were hitting up like Charleston, all cities throughout, North Carolina, some in like Tennessee and Virginia, playing a lot of breweries. Yeah. Because like for Americana, country music and stuff, like that's what they want. Like they're real thirsty for it, so it's nice. But I haven't been playing live a ton lately, and I haven't really played a whole lot for this project. Like I was playing for a guy named Clint Roberts, and sometimes we were getting like 15, 16 shows a month, like playing $100 a head sort of thing, at a brewery. So I've been to too many breweries. Like I don't even drink craft beer anymore because they give us way too much. I just want like a Modelo or something now. Give me a Bud Light, like all this heavy shit I'm tired of.
When you're doing some of your own stuff, like when you're not out with Clint, who are the people you're bringing with you? I see Ryan Stigman showing up a ton. Dude,
Ryan is the dude. I couldn't shout him out like enough. He's all throughout on my record. Like I don't know. I don't want to call him a savant because I think there's almost a negative side of being called a savant. Sure. But he's I guess a genius, just a full on genius. Like he played pedal steel on my record. He played, did like a lot of the flat picking and stuff. He played bass on some of it. He wrote and like performed the 3-part harmonies with like one of the other singers. He half produced it with like my producer and like good friend, Garrett Langy Bartles. And I'm probably like missing some shit that he did on that. Like he did so much, and he's just like an absolute sweetheart. So he's like if I could hire, if Ryan could just like stick by my side at all times, like I would have him for everything. But like everyone also loves him, so like everyone wants to hire him, sort of thing. Yeah. So he plays with Clint now. I'm not really playing with Clint so much anymore, though he's a phenomenal musician in and of himself. Ryan's playing with him some now. Yeah, I've got a few people who come out, but a lot of times, it's like Ryan's kind of my right hand dude. If I can have him, like we can play duo, I'd be fine with that all day long. But it's kind of like out here, you can hire people pretty easily. There's like a really good cast of, a great person, great fiddle players. Like you can have your choice of like 5 of them, great upright players, bass players, drummers. Like you're pretty much good to go on almost anything. Even like pedal steel. Like personally, Ryan, I would never really pay another pedal steel player just because I like Ryan so much and I like his style. But like there's a lot of great, the caliber of musicians that you get out here is pretty crazy, especially for how accessible they are. In Nashville, like there's obviously 100,000 incredible guitar players, but like not all of them are accessible at all to people in the more blue collar side of working musician, but
lay people.
Yeah, exactly. But like out here, like most everyone is really kind of, there's a community aspect that everyone's pretty cool with, and everyone's real accessible, which is cool.
Tell me a little bit more about this project of yours. So, oh my gosh, hold on. All right, tell me about this project. So Descolada is either in Spanish a snub or rebuff, or in Ender's Game a super intelligent virus that kills crops.
Hell yeah!
Are you one or both, or none of the above?
So really, honestly, the name, it's definitely the Portuguese word from Ender's Game. I'm real into, technically it's from Speaker of the Dead, which is like the more adult sequel to it, which is one of my favorite books of all time. Yeah, so in that they describe it as like the ungluer is what it's called. So it like rips apart organisms like molecule by molecule. Yeah. But it's like an intelligent feeling disease, I guess.
And you're like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah, it's with my music. Exactly. Honestly, it's a little too metal for what I'm putting out. The soft, like sad boy, country music that I'm putting out. Yeah. It sounds like, when I explain it to people, I was like, all right. But it's a beautiful word, and I don't know, something about it fit, and it's just like I've read that book so many times, and I don't know, just connected with it. But I guess maybe there's an emotionally ripping people apart.
That's so funny. It's one of those book flexes.
Yeah, I read.
Yeah. Oh, you think I don't read?
You think I'm illiterate?
Yeah.
Try again, sucker. It's a much more niche book, okay?
Yeah.
Every 15-year-old boy's read Ender's Game.
Yeah, I really tried Speaker for the Dead. I tried all everything that wasn't the Bean spinoff.
Yeah.
I was like, it was just getting way too hard.
I can't do the spin-off stuff. Like when they're like, let's do Ender's Game, but from someone else's perspective.
Oh, I loved that book.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I couldn't do that.
But Speaker for the Dead is where I was like, this is way too intense. Yeah.
It's really dense, but I don't know. It's a really pretty book, though.
What are some of the... you have the first single, Big Dam Foolishness.
Yeah.
Dam spelled D-A-M, referring to like an actual dam. So,
correct, yeah.
Why?
Yeah, about 2 years ago when me and my wife were on our honeymoon, we were driving we were in Colorado Springs for our honeymoon. We were driving back to North Carolina, and we stopped at some rest stop, and like the big like historical placard sort of thing that was there, it just said Big Dam Foolishness off the top, and I was like, that's a good saying. Like that just it just caught me in some weird way, and so I went through and read through it. Basically, it was like, I couldn't tell you what county it was in Kansas, but kind of middle of nowhere Kansas. And back in like, I don't want to be, held to this, but something like the 40s or 50s or something like that. They basically were, I think because of floods and maybe to create power for the area, they were just like seizing people's farmland and like homeland and just flooding it through with a big dam. Wow. And that naturally pissed off like a lot of people. And so they had this kind of grassroots campaign against it, in which they titled this dam Big Dam Foolishness. Yeah, I don't know. That just kind of struck me for whatever reason. That really stuck with me when I like when I'm writing songs, and really when I'm doing anything, I'm always like just writing down little phrases or little things that just kind of catch me as interesting.
Yeah.
And that one just kind of pulled out for whatever reason, like a year later. I don't know. I guess it's a metaphor or something, but
Yeah.
I
I
don't want to
guess
be
it's
too
a metaphor.
I don't want
Yeah.
to be too precious with it or anything, but it's something along those lines. For I guess stuff happening that you have no control over in your life.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, a theme in my life or something.
Yeah. It's a theme in everyone's life.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, to some more and to some less, I'll give you that. Cool. And now you're working on the second single. How do you feel about the album overall? Like, are you feeling confident with it? Are you feeling happy with it? What are some? You also recorded it during COVID.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
there's like a lot there.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on like not only the day, but like the hour of the day, how I'm feeling about it.
Yeah.
But I would say like the overall theme is like, I feel incredibly proud of it. Like the people that came together on that record, like going into it, I was like, I don't even know if this will be anything. Like I'm going to try and do it. And I'm like really excited to finally I've been writing forever, and I feel like I've never been able to like actually bring like one project, like one grouping of songs to an end before I like get tired of it and start writing in some different way.
Right.
And this is like the first time that I've really like stuck it through and been like, no, this is one thing. This is a project. In fact, I've gotten to a point that it's almost entirely, I feel really proud of it. Like for the first time in my life, I'm able to look at some songs that I wrote and been like, all right, that's like finally, bridging the gap between like what I listen to and what I create. I'm finally getting on the same plane where I'm like, no, this is something worthy of, people hearing. Yeah, I mean, I can't say it enough, but the people who all worked on it are just magicians. Like they're all so good at what they do, and they like this whole process has been pretty life-changing for me, and just the amount of like care that other people have put into my project. I don't know, like every step of the way and everything that I've been doing, it's just been like I've had like moments of being like really kind of emotional about it, because it's just like, oh, I like knew people cared about me and stuff, but like, these people like really deeply care about me and stuff. Like they feel as deeply about me as I do about them.
Yeah.
And it just keeps being like a constant reminder. It's been really cool, because even like I had a Kickstarter that I released just to start.
Right.
Like I've paid for everything out of pocket so far, but like release it just to be able to get some physical stuff out and like get, I don't know, a little promotion, because like it can be so expensive to promote your own music out of pocket. I mean, I was fully funded within like 12 hours.
No way.
Yeah, and then like I'm at 150% funded right now.
Wow.
And it just like, I didn't like, right before I launched it, I was like, me and my wife were sitting in the car, she was dropping me off for work, and I was just like launched it, and I was like, oh, this is going to be really embarrassing when I get like $12.
Yeah.
And I was kind of joking. I knew some people, like, I've got family. There's some family members who'll kick a little bit, but
sure.
She like refreshed it like 10 minutes later. She's like, oh, you're like $175. I was like, that's a great first day.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, full on, people kept giving, and like, were so generous. People that I didn't even expect to be, interested at all, sort of thing, were so generous with me. And so it's like, I don't know. It's been an emotional roller coaster, this whole experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you gotten to talk with any of the people, like reached out to them, like been able to like thank them and ask them questions? Because I'm always curious, like why do people give money is like
right.
Just so interesting to me, because I'm like, I think it's worthwhile, but also depending on the day, depending on the hour, I think that I'm human garbage and should be expelled,
Yeah,
so
for sure,
like what has anybody given you some insights of like, Colton, I just believe in you, I believe in your art, like I want this to happen for you, and I love you, man, here's $100, like, has it been like that?
It has, yeah, for several people. I mean, there's one dude who donated like $250 named Bob that I have no fucking clue who he is.
Cool.
I need to figure it out, because I was like, I know like two Bobs, and neither of them make sense who have given that kind of money to me.
Yeah, well, Bob is just a filler name.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I've had a bunch of people who've like had really, I mean, I have a hard time even accepting it sometimes.
Yeah.
Where they'll like sit down, they'll like, trying to really connect with me and be like, yeah, I just like, I'm really proud of you. I'm really proud of what you're doing. Like, I genuinely believe in it. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. like I have a hard time sometimes accepting that.
Yeah.
Even yeah, I don't know. I've had quite a few people who've reached out in that way, and it's super meaningful, but it's like meaningful to me the next day or the day after that, because like in the moment, for whatever reason, like my mind and heart just shut it down. They're like, no. They're just saying that. That's a nice thing to say, but like,
yeah, they're just giving me money. They don't even need money.
Yeah, they're just giving me like what would be to me a fairly significant amount of money. Yeah, like I don't know, but yeah, people have been wildly supportive. Like, I mean, like I just said earlier, it's just like it's been an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
Like, I've just felt, more supported than I really ever have in my life, which is cool.
So cool. That's such a cool feeling, man.
It is. It's really something to be thankful for, and I am deeply thankful for it. Every time that I get a little grumbly about like I gotta get up and go to work this morning sort of thing, I'm just like, quit fucking complaining. Like, you're the luckiest dude alive right now. Like, people have been just showing you love and like pouring it out freely on you. Like, you have nothing to complain about.
I love talking about logistics, like how you get from one place to another. So I do want to get back a little bit into the recording in a little bit and ask about how you go from making music that's like so different from the music that you listen to. Like, how do you close that gap? But before we get there, like, you did this album with Nap Time Recordings?
Yeah. I feel like I'm in like Nardwar or something like that.
No,
like you're just pulling out like people.
So Colton, here's the thing: you only have like 5 Instagram posts. So when it comes to like researching you, it's like there's like 3 topics of conversation that you have in your Instagram, and I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure I get what he keeps mentioning these same people.
Yep.
3 out of the 5 posts are about these people. This is clearly what he cares about.
Yeah.
So Nap Time Recordings, I imagine like smaller setup. You said like thank you for allowing us into your home. So it's home recording.
It's like prosumer home recording, like the nicest version of that you can like think of. Like, he's put so much love and care into that studio, and now it's like he's booked out like every weekend sort of thing. I was his first project in there, but like that's kind of always been so like Garrett who runs that and his wife Shay have been like 2 of my closest friends for over a decade now. Like, they're family pretty much, and we've like always, like, Garrett's a songwriter as well and stuff, so we've always like, that's been our relationship, has been like tossing songs back and forth, and like, I'm working on this. He, had me up as his first, person to kind of christen the studio and whatnot. Like, it's just kind of an incredible environment. What he was able to do with that is just kind of incredible. Like, the comfort level and just like, I don't know, his arsenal of gear is really nice too. And like, everything just sounds great in there.
Yeah.
But it is kind of like, one good like live room. And then he's got like an amp room and stuff. And then his control room. And we pretty much spent like 3 days up there, just like really banging it out. We were doing like 16-hour days.
Wow. Jeez, that's brutal.
Really brutal. I mean, I was fully checked out by the end. By the end, I did not know. I was like, oh, I don't know, man. I can't hear like another vocal take of my own.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds like garbage to me, and I feel like I'm just really fucking up. And like now with some, time from that, like I've been able to have a little more perspective, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we were all pretty ragged at the end of that, for sure. I would definitely give myself more time next time. But there is something you get from really like that was like our life for 3 days. Like, you get done with that and you're like, I don't remember what I was doing before this.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it's just so immersive. And I think there was something from that really kind of did, imprint itself on the record.
Yeah,
that's really nice.
I feel like that's way better than just letting it just go out forever. Like,
like if you're doing it like in a home setup where it's like, it's been 6 months and now I've kind of lost the script for this whole thing.
I'm gonna do one vocal take today and then another tomorrow. It's just it's garbage.
Yeah, for sure.
Focusing that pain into 3 days is a good call. I imagine Garrett is a huge help in moving from like the kind of music you make to the kind of music that you listen to, but like, is there something that you've been like watching or learning that's been helping you move in that direction or giving you that more critical ear? Or
Yeah. So
who is it that you're trying to like copy? Like I want
emulate stuff.
or just the actual like audio of being like I want the clarity, like the guitar clarity of Tallest Kid on Earth or Tallest Man on Earth, or like all that kind of stuff. Who are you trying to emulate in that way?
Yeah. So I mean, when I was giving, like, I'm not like a very technical person when it comes to the recording process.
Me neither.
Like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And luckily, Garrett and Ryan, like, they do have really good ears for that and stuff. And so I know when something's right and when something's wrong, but that's about all I can say.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of makes sense if you hear it, like, in the world, like Milk Carton Kids and Mandolin Orange and stuff like that are definitely like tones, like kind of vibes I'm going for. Though the writing is different in some ways.
Right.
That's definitely kind of the vibe. There's a Cactus Blossoms record that I really liked that I think I sent them over, like, sound wise. I don't know. I think for me, like, mostly what I've been like, I'm focusing, and they allowed me to really focus on like writing the best songs that I could write, and that's what I'm constantly like studying. Like, as far as production wise, like, I don't know. I don't have anything for it. Like, I don't have anything to add. I just need to like get the right people in the room to do it to do it for me. Songwriting wise, though, I mean, I'm constantly listening to music. Joe Pug has his podcast, the Working Songwriter, that I'm constantly listening to. Since I got booked on this, I've listened to some of your stuff too. And like, there's like, you had like 3 of like the people that I really, really respect on in your like last few, like Esther Rose.
Oh, nice.
Her, we had one of her tunes is like the walk-off tune at my wedding.
Nice.
Chris Acker is God, what a hell of a songwriter.
Yeah.
And then John Davey is like, he's kind of one of the homies from back in Indiana. Like, I've known him since high school.
Nice.
And like, I've booked him on like a ton of shows during college and stuff. We're like really long-term acquaintances, kind of. We've been in the same room so many times. We absolutely know each other, but like, we've not quite homies, but like,
we clearly not enemies.
Definitely not enemies.
Yeah. In a war, we would fight together.
Exactly.
Up until then, we would just say, "Hey."
Exactly. But John Davy's someone I've respected forever. Like, I remember I booked him on I was like a booker for this show at my college that we did like every Wednesday, and I put John Davy on there as often as I possibly could, where people would like, still come out to see him, because he just kind of blew me away. And he would always kind of like mock people at the college, because we were going to like a private college that cost us a shit ton of money. And I didn't even want to be there, and I wasn't even good at it. I dropped out after 5 years. Like
5 years.
The worst. College. Yeah, the worst thing you could
Where was this money coming from? Were you on a scholarship?
No, loans. I still owe it.
Loans. You quit after 5 years on loans.
Yeah, dude. I tried to quit after 1 year, but the girl that I was dating convinced me to keep going, which was a mistake.
Smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
She knew best. Yeah.
I guess, man. She kept me, and I'm still paying that off. But like, he was always
a $50,000 girlfriend right there.
It is. It really is, man. And like a lot of other stuff on top of it. So she left me with several scars.
Jeez.
But like, he would always kind of mock us and stuff a little bit during his shows, where he's like, like, how's it going? You guys are paying $30,000 a year to be here. How's it going? Like, jeez. I don't owe a dime, and I'm on the road full time, sort of thing. Like, because back in the like, he was really hustling back then. Like, he was on the road all the time. And every single time he'd come around, I'd be talking to my friends. I was like, man, I fucked up. Yeah. Man, I should have just gone on the road. I shouldn't have went to college. This was never right for me. Like, So, I mean, I'm constantly, back to, I guess, the more of the subject, like, constantly just like listening to other songwriters and trying to absorb why, something is cool that they're doing, and just trying to grow in that aspect, and trying to grow as a guitar player a little bit. But like, honestly, I've been playing guitar for 16 years and I'm just a so-so guitar player still.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Who's someone that you've really dissected, like someone you really, really look up to, kind of a songwriter hero that you've really dissected a bunch?
Yeah. I mean, if we're talking like really long-term stuff, like, it's going to be no surprise to any songwriter, but like John Prine means a whole lot to me.
Yeah. To a lot of people.
A lot of people. I mean, that's
Yeah.
like as far as people, dying that you don't know, like that's the only one that's kind of ever like really hit me
Mm.
in the gut sort of
Mm.
thing. That's never gonna. Willie Nelson is huge for me. I
Yeah.
think the dude is a writer through and through and just like has been able to write like what I deeply want to be able to do is like write something that feels like a throwaway line that like at the end of it when you go back through it like it hits you in the gut sort of
Yeah.
thing.
You're
And
like, oh
John
God, he's a
Prine,
genius.
yeah, exactly. And John Prine and Willie Nelson can do that both and be able to like something that it's not on this record at all. I'm really deeply trying to learn how to put like genuine humor in songs.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the hardest thing in the world to me, and both of those guys can do it in spades.
Yeah.
Like they can make you laugh and cry in the same song.
Yeah.
Like and I've like always taken it too seriously, and I'm really trying to like loosen up a bit because like they're
Yeah.
so loose and natural in that. And I feel like I'm really always just fucking bearing my soul on every tune that I write. I want people to be able to have fun. Like my mom and my wife both are always like, these are really good, but like they're so sad. Like,
Yeah.
can you write something like happy or something? Like you're a happy person. Why don't you write happy music? It's like I don't know, man. I am genuinely happy, but yeah, it just doesn't come out that way.
Yeah. That's interesting. Well, I mean, it makes sense, There's stuff people have to get out.
For sure.
Oftentimes
And it can
art is the
be,
way.
yeah, it can be really cathartic. And like, I've always been drawn to sad music for whatever reason. Like, that's always what hits the hardest. But I am happy. Like, I'm genuinely a very happy person. Like, I've got a lot to be thankful for. And like, I don't know, I'm really lucky in a lot of ways. I don't know. I'm working on it. You'll hear some happy songs eventually.
Okay,
Maybe
good,
the next
good,
record.
Good. Off the top of your head, is there a particular, like, couple of John Prine lines that you feel like are absolute standouts?
He's got this one off the tree of forget his last record before he passed. Sometimes my heart's like a washing machine, just bounces around till my soul comes clean. I mean, it's just like it's simple. It's not, but like it kind of hits you on different levels, and it's just like, that's genius, man. It's hard to not find a song that doesn't have something kind of profound that hits you. He's got a lot. I mean, every line in like Sam Stone is just brutal. Like that's the most brutal song in the world. It just hits you the whole time. But he's able to like, he talks about him having a purple heart and a monkey on his back, and it's like, come on, man, that's such a good line. Like it just, he's able to. I mean, the Prinisms in all of his songs, where he's able just to put something that sounds so commonplace and make it like deeply, deeply profound. I don't know. I think he just like had a lot of respect for like regular ass people. I think that really showed through in kind of everything he did.
Yeah. I mean, I live on the West Coast, which we all know are like extremely elitist, and
it's a stereotype. Anyway.
we look down on every person who's not on the West Coast alongside us. So
us
as someone,
yeah.
So as someone who is not on the West Coast, do you feel like that's a trait that you see more frequently within songwriters around there, being able to appreciate fellow trogs?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think so. Like there is like a lot of tunes. Like if you look at like, anyone around here, like a lot of tunes about really regular ass people, like really common people, like working people is fairly common. And I feel like there just is a lot of stuff, especially like, I don't know, here in Asheville, you get a little bit of both. Like you get a lot of really down to earth people who genuinely just like love and support other people. And then you get like a lot of kind of the West Coasty, vibe of like pretty superior, but like where I'm from in Indiana, it's all that. I mean, there's very much like a, don't get above your raisin, sort of vibe. And
don't get above your raisin. That's a phrase.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Oh no! Oh, you're raisin. I thought
not like
I
dried grapes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Don't get above that raisin, boy.
Old man just sets a raisin down on a counter.
No, like raising. But there's like kind of a vibe of like, don't talk about yourself too much.
Yeah.
Like it's not about you, sort of thing. Like anyone who is like real about themselves and stuff like doesn't quite fit in that culture super well. like honestly to the point that I have to like deprogram some of that. Like it's
Yeah.
okay to like, self-promote a little bit, and it's
Sure,
okay
yeah.
to like be proud of yourself.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's important in a lot of ways for mental health, but like I guess that's why so many people up there are so sad all the time. But there's like very much like humility is like huge. I mean,
Yeah.
huge, especially where I'm from in Indiana, but I think like across the Midwest, that's a pretty decent through line.
With someone who clearly does not share a ton of himself on the internet or self-promote a ton.
Yeah.
How?
Dude, I'm trying. You're seeing that as like that's after I'm like making concerted efforts.
I'm well aware that every single one of those Instagram posts I was reading, I was like, oh, he's trying so hard just to be here today.
Yes, 100%, man. 100%.
So you all the respect where it is due. When it comes to like marketing an album, asking a bunch of people to listen to an album.
Yeah.
P.S. When does the album come out? Because first single has come out and second single will. No, first single has not come out. Has come out.
No, first single's out.
Okay, yeah.
First single came out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Second one, I'm pulling up my calendar right now. Second one will come out August 27th. Full record out September 25th.
September 25th. Okay.
Yeah.
So by like September 25th, and sadly, I always wish that like things ended, at the release date and you could just call it. But like,
oh yeah, there's
you're
a lot
still,
of work after. Yeah.
There's still a lot of work
Probably
after.
More work. Yeah.
So how are you stretching yourself to get other people to listen to this who don't already know you?
Yeah.
I mean, this counts as one.
Exactly.
Certainly.
No. Yeah, for sure. No, and this is like stuff.
You also
like this
hired a guy to email me, I guess. Like,
well, that was actually Garrett. That's
Garrett
Langebartles. Yeah,
okay,
he's the homie. So he's been doing like a ton of work for just like trying to get me out there.
Yeah.
And I've got several other friends who've just been willing to like put in their,
You sound like you have the nicest friends, dude, man.
I can't be more grateful, and I can't.
You just have people just free labor, just chilling around right now.
And like some of them, I have paid at least as much as I can, but like they really like full on have like went to bat for me.
Yeah,
which is super cool. I mean, super
it was not a tiny email that I got about you.
I bet
it was. Yeah, it was a full. This is a contextualized email to me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's been really putting in a lot of work. I mean, like a lot of work. And I've had several other people like, I don't know, some like grassroots stuff is what feels most comfortable to me because like that doesn't really take anything other than
right.
Just, like,
yeah, I was like, yeah,
there.
it's the best part because other people are
easy.
doing it.
And like you know that like at the end of the day, like the people who dig it like actually dig it.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And that's found like I've had people who are really willing to like put me out there in whatever way they can.
Yeah.
And like put me on stuff. I mean, it's such a learning project or process, but like, I'm on Submit Hub every day, like trying to get, people to review
that's a tough
stuff.
one. Yeah.
It's really tough. Like it's really tough. And like all of those other sorts of services where I can like get in contact with people. And like, I've got, actually the house that I'm in right now, I live out in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like we can't even get internet on our property.
That's
like
funny.
No like satellite, nothing. And so like the dude that I'm at his house right now, Andy Farrell, like he's got a radio show here in Nashville every Sunday and stuff. And like he's playing my tune and stuff, like
cool
stuff like that. Like I'm really trying to grow locally as much as I can. And like, I'm just forcing myself. I'm not a natural networker, even in the, nice version of networking where you just like meet new people. Like, I'm not great at that. Like,
the nice version of networking is just making friends. You seem friendly enough.
I'm friendly enough when it comes to me. But I'm not good at like reaching out to new people.
Sure.
Like, that's not a natural thing for me at all.
Yeah.
Like I'm weirdly shy until they're here. And then I'm like, all right, we can, we can have a rapport here. But I'm like really trying to work on that though. Because I think it is important. And I found that like a lot of the people that I know who have success are just good at that. They're just like, I don't know, that person can't be that scary. Like, let's just go talk to him.
It's like a strange belligerence.
Yeah.
Of like, what's the worst that can happen? They can ignore me forever.
Exactly.
Which is what they were already doing.
Exactly. So it's not that bad. I've been getting better at that. So like it's
Yeah.
been some just like reaching out to people and being like, I don't know, will you put me on in some way? Like, can I help you in some way? Like, is there? Yeah. I don't know. I'm still learning so much about promotion. Such a weird world.
Yeah. You also mentioned Submit Hub, so just context for anybody who doesn't know what Submit Hub is. It's where you send them your music and then they reject you.
Deeply, yeah.
They
have to say why.
And specifically, they'll specifically tell you why they don't dig your music.
And then out of every 150, you'll have one be like, yeah, I'll put it on my playlist that 40 people listen to.
And his feedback, it was fine.
Yes, exactly. That's what you get. And you get a week of them playing it on their playlist. Yeah, it's interesting. Every once in a while, you get something nice or something helpful. There will be random, pretty earnest people on there who are like, dug this, wasn't as into this.
Yeah.
Or really like it, but it's not for my audience sort of thing. Wouldn't dig it. Okay, yeah. People don't there's people in the world who don't like my music, and that's fine. That's fine. There's no self-worth.
Songwriting
that's come
okay, production bad, voice bad, thoughts okay. And you're like, oh, no.
Cool. I'm glad I paid you for that. Yeah. Pretty brutal in a lot of ways.
It's pretty brutal. Are you at all interested in doing Big Dam Foolishness while we're
sure,
here?
Man. Sure. Got my lyric sheet in front of me because I'm prone to forgetting everything that I've ever learned.
You can always just add in new lyrics if you need to.
Yeah, exactly. Just kind of ad-lib them on the fly.
Down your head at the end of the day, make penance for actions, bear no fruit, mistakes that aren't yours to claim. Be kind to yourself. You've had a rough ride. There's stronger men took to the hills over what you saw tonight. There's a storm rolling in, boys. Oh, and big damn foolishness will swallow all of this. There's no time for us to go back to tomorrow. Oh, I'll meet you in Selena in the morning. We built you a home in the mountains last year. You traded your body for 25 acres of earth to keep you near. Hole in the net for you to slip through. That heart-sick feel of steel on steel struck out like a bolt from the blue. There's a storm rolling in, boys. Oh, and big damn foolishness will swallow all of this. There's no time for us to go back to tomorrow. Oh, I'll meet you in Selena in the morning. We tuck them babies in the bed, sing them sweet old songs of cowboys and the wild, wild west. If we have a boy, he'll take your name. His soul comprised of railroad ties, his heart a runaway train. There's a storm rolling in, boys, growing big damn foolishness will swallow all of this. There's no time for us to go back to tomorrow. Oh, I'll meet you in Selena in the morning. Oh, I'll meet you in Selena in the morning. Oh, I'll meet you in Selena in the morning.
Thank you.
Well done, man.
Appreciate it.
I like the song.
I appreciate it. I put a lot of work into it, so it's nice
Yeah.
to hear.
Yeah.
Like,
I really
anyway, song sucks, so just imagine doing that, just like berating your podcast guests.
Vocals okay. You spent a lot of money on college, so
Like, are you on Submit Hub? Are you the guy who's been?
yeah. One of my favorite pieces of doing this is meeting good people who write good music, and yeah, I mean, clearly people like you. If they're willing,
it seems to be. Yeah.
If they're willing to do this work, why do you think? Like, what do you think they would say about you? Like, because clearly you don't talk yourself up a ton, but
I don't.
I think that they would.
Yeah, no, some people really do. It like always somehow surprises me. Like, oh shit, people like me. Like,
Yeah,
it's kind of wild. I don't know exactly what they would say about me, but like I try and like be there for other people always. Like I've always been like a real softie, and I'm like lucky to have. I mean, that didn't like happen on my own or anything. Like I've got like the sweetest family in the world. Like they're, and everyone who meets them, we're like, oh, your parents are the best. Like they're the nicest people in the world. And I feel like your mom would kill someone for you. And I was like, oh, she absolutely would.
And
like,
she
honestly,
has.
I'll show you where the bodies are. No, but like they're truly just like good hearted people. And like full on would do anything for anyone. Like literally like give the shirt off their back sort of thing. Like it's just kind of the example that I've had. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say like why do people like you?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I try and be genuine with everyone. I'm like deeply self-conscious about like the words that I use and like how I present myself in general, and like to not be dishonest in any of that. Like I like fakeness like has always been something that I can smell from a mile away and that I like run away from, like really run away from. I think I'm like earnest sometimes to the point of like self-deprecation and like self-infliction a little bit. Like I'm not feeling great about myself today, so like I'm gonna let you know that I don't think I'm hot shit right now. Like, you know? Yeah. I don't know. I've always been really lucky with the people that I've been able to surround myself with. They're just like genuinely good natured. It's weird. Like there's a whole crew of like, it's like a bunch of ex-Protestant Christian people. Like that's my whole circle. It's like everyone like used to go to church sort of thing. Yeah. And so I think we like had something good from that, like baked into the cake. Yeah. And then we like left everything else that sucked from that, like like way behind. Because like that was like my whole world for a long time. Was like the whole Protestant Christian world. Yeah. But, and that's like the college I went to was like a Christian school and stuff.
Oh, okay. And, it sounded like it with that amount of money. I was like,
yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
they really,
How old are you now?
29 in a couple weeks. Yeah, it's funny. Like every person I went to, it's called Indiana Wesleyan University. We call it IWU. Like every IWU person I run into, like, you know, that I haven't seen in a few years, like the first thing they kind of like look at you sideways a little bit and like, you still part of that, or
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everyone universally it's like no, deeply
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
But but like there's still just, I don't know, there was a group of people there that just like they were good to their core, like really genuinely good people.
Yeah.
And then I've been able to surround myself here in North Carolina with the same sort of people who just like are deeply good to their core.
That's special.
It really is. It really
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go into the things that I ask everybody, but I like the answers typically. A bad piece of music advice you've gotten about your career.
I don't know that I can give something specific. Like a lot of people have like just given me outright advice. I guess like the biggest thing, like I feel like I'd be a lot further in. I need to rephrase. Basically, in Indiana, like there's no such thing as a professional musician.
Okay.
And the idea, if you had told someone, you're like, I'm gonna be a musician,
Yeah.
like they'd be like, yeah, but what are you gonna do?
Right.
Like for work.
People say that everywhere, to be fair.
They do everywhere.
And
but it's
anywhere
like,
that's not Nashville.
for sure. But like I'll say that here, you know, I've got friends who grew up here who like were next door neighbors to like professional musicians and stuff. So like that was like a path that they thought like, no, there are people here who work
Right.
in the music industry. And in Indiana, where I'm from, like I'd never met a professional musician before I moved out here. Like never once.
Yeah.
Like not even people who were doing it for money in any way, shape, or form. Like there's people who are playing bars for free.
Right.
Like who are, you know, giving people like their service for absolute free. And so I think like just the idea that like I remember even wanting to be like, my first thing when I first went to college was like, yeah, I'll be a music producer or something like that. Like I'll learn, you know, audio engineering. And even that was like, yeah, there's no money in that. Like that wasn't even like you can't really do that, but like, you know, maybe pick something a little more profitable. And I think that like I could throw that away in the garbage because like there just are so many things, like especially nowadays, like that you can do on your own. Right. And like you don't have to make a killing, but like you can make enough. Like,
yeah.
You can get by.
Yes.
And that wasn't, I had no frame of reference for that.
Yeah.
And so I would throw that right in the garbage for sure.
Nice. Is there a particular book that you've felt really influenced by or inspired by over the last year or so?
Ooh, yeah. I'll have to extend it a little bit past the last year because like 2 years ago, I was going through some stuff and I like my whole purpose for that year was pretty much like I'm gonna read a book every week.
Wow, good.
And I did. I read more than actually a book a week over the course of that year, and some of them were like hefty boys. But basically, this whole series, the Port Williams series by Wendell Berry, specifically A Place on Earth. He's writing about like this kind of nowhere town in Kentucky in like the 40s. I mean, there's probably full on ripped off lines in my record from that book. Like it's beautiful. Like every single, like I you know do the like rabbit ears or whatever, like fold over my pages when there's like a line that I really connect with. And it's like I stopped doing it in his books because it was like literally every page I found something that like, because he's a poet as well, and he writes, and just this really like every line is just has so much intention, and it's just beautiful. Like easily the most beautiful writer I've ever read. So A Place on Earth is like that book means a lot to me for sure. Yeah.
I'll check it out. I'm desperately in need of another book. Right
pull up any Place on Earth. Jayber Crow is another one from that series that's really, really good. Cool. It's just gorgeous. Like full on can bring you to tears. Like gorgeous writing.
Nice. Worst concert that you ever played?
That I've ever played. You're talking like throw someone under the bus. Like I could though. There's a couple I've been to that were doozies. There's been a couple real bummers. One of them was just like, I'll give you two because there are two that kind of are in distinct different categories. One was several years ago. Garrett Langevartis was talking about put on a show at this coffee shop he was working at in Marion, Indiana, called the Abbey, and he asked me to play some music for it because it was like an art show / there was music for like the opening night. Yeah. And I played some tunes, and I was playing like I mean, I play bummers now, but I was playing like real bummers back then.
Sure.
And just too far in that. And I was also like, I don't know, I thought it was edgy or something. This was probably like 5 or 6 years ago, but I was like, thought it was really edgy to like cuss a lot in my music.
Yeah.
And I was like really throwing them in there wherever. And like, I've got Garrett's, I don't know, probably like 80-year-old grandma sitting like directly in front of me,
right,
as I'm just like F-bomb after F-bomb after F-bomb,
yeah.
like really bearing it. And she's like real conservative and stuff, and was not digging it. And then no one said a word to me afterwards.
Whoa.
Like even my friends, like no one was like, oh, good job. Like no one said a single word to me. Even my friends who were there like didn't say anything to me. And I'd like forgot like several verses, like in every song. I'd like forget a verse pretty much. I like went home to my like 1-bedroom apartment and like alone, just like drank a couple bottles of wine, like fell asleep like butt ass naked on my couch. Rough, like really rough. I felt very bad about myself that night.
Yeah.
And then another one, apparently it was not a bad show from what I've heard from people afterwards. But I was playing with Clint Roberts and we played in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Poorhouse. I hadn't played with this drummer that we were working with before. We like practiced at his house like right before the gig. He was like, well, anyone want to smoke before we leave? And I was like, yeah, I'll smoke a little bit. And like pulls out this big like table-sized bong. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, we're smoking and stuff. I was like, yeah, I'm cool. It's fine. I'm cool. And took just like a huge rip off of it from him and just like was completely disassociating for the next like several hours, including the whole time we were on stage. Yeah. And it's funny because like afterwards, like I felt like garbage the whole time. I was like, I like cannot find any rhythm whatsoever. And I was playing bass for him and stuff, like can't find any rhythm. I can't remember where these songs are going. They keep surprising me, like if we're going to chorus and stuff. And afterwards, Clint was like, no, I thought that was like one of the better shows you played.
That's so funny.
And I was like, good, because like I'd full on like felt like garbage, like absolute garbage. So yeah, those are two of the worst for sure.
It like continues to surprise people where like everyone kind of has this story where it's like, you know, I thought I was really good at this job and I could kind of do it under any circumstance. And then, you know, I did this one thing and I was like, wait, I don't know how to do this at all.
Oh, yeah. Like, I don't, well, no, full on your fingers are just like, what do I do with these? What do I do with these? Like full on. Yeah, I can't smoke. Like, I cannot touch marijuana before a show anymore. Right. I won't. Like, since then, I absolutely won't. I'm like, no, hell no. Yeah. Hell no. I'll have, like, a dissociative panic attack if I do that. It's too much. Yeah,
no, I'm glad that you understand that thing about yourself. Some people thrive on it.
Some people, dude,
and some people
several.
Do not.
Yeah, I know several who've gotten on, like, they're like, yeah, I don't know, just ate an eighth of shrooms, I'm going to go play a gig. And I'm like, I'd rather die. I'd rather die than do that. And they destroy it. Like, they just get into some headspace, they absolutely destroy it. Yeah. And I was like, no, I'd absolutely, like, put me in the ground, please. I do not want that at all.
I like knowing what I'm doing.
Yes.
In this particular circumstance, I like to know what I'm doing.
Especially with lyrics. Like when you're trying to memorize lyrics, like I just can't be in any headspace except for like dead sober. Right. Like I just can't. I won't remember stuff.
Yeah, I'll always start on verse 2.
Oh yeah. And then all the time. You just gotta go with it.
Yeah. Put in verse 1 where verse 2 should have been. It makes no sense.
Or just do verse 2 again. Like, like I know I just sang this, but this is what I got in my head right now.
Oh man, yep, happens far too often.
Dude, yeah.
All right. For anybody wanting to check out your music, because Big Dam Foolishness is already out, so where
are people? Spotify, Apple Music, anything. I mean, all the streaming services. Yeah, under the name Descolada is the artist name, Descolada. You can find me on Instagram, Descolada_music. You'll find some content there for sure. More to come, I swear. I'm really making a concerted effort. But and you can find like I have a link tree on there to like anything else that I'm kind of working on. Right there in my bio. Those are definitely like the spots. Spotify seems to be where most people are listening right now.
Cool, man. I'm excited to hear the rest of the stuff. Like, yeah,
appreciate it, dude.
I mean, the only one that I've heard is Big Damn Foolishness, so but I already like it.
Well, there's some other tunes on there that I'm really proud of.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing it. And cool. Thanks for hanging out, man.
Yeah, dude, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. I really genuinely like your podcast a lot. Like I was saying at the beginning, like some of it when I was like looking through, like Garrett sent it over, and I was like, Okay, Chris Acker, like that's full on what I've been listening to all year. Like that's the dude. Esther Rose, John David. I was like, okay, Sam Doors, like a bunch of like really good songwriters. So
yeah,
it's an honor to be in any grouping with them of any sort. So.